I want to address the inerrancy question. Inerrancy means that the Bible is the Word of God. It is unchangeable. You can't change a letter because that's the way God wrote it. The Maya didn't believe that. The Maya didn't have a myth of inerrancy. The Aztecs didn't either. None of the Mesoamerican people did. As far as they were concerned, the gods were not perfect. The gods were fallible. And the myths were not set in stone. They were changeable. And they changed the calendar. They changed it several times. The most important example I can think of is the New Fire ceremony. The Aztecs performed what they called New Fire every 52 years. The Aztecs had a cycle which they considered to reflect the cycles of creation. The cycle would begin on a certain day, and 52 years later that day would come around again, and the cycle would end and begin anew. And the way they celebrated this 52-year cycle was what they called New Fire. All through the Aztec Empire, people would repaint their houses, clean their houses, break their dishes, and buy new dishes. And they would put out their fires. And on the new day, they would begin anew with new dishes and a new fire. And how they got their new fire was this. There would be a sacred fire kindled on a mountaintop in the body of a sacrifice victim. Torches would be lit from that fire and carried throughout the empire, and everyone would light their fires from those torches. They had a new sacred fire created by the Aztec rulers and priests on this mountaintop. To them, that was a new creation. And this was their celebration of the creation cycle. However, the second to last New Fire in 1454 was on a year of drought. And this was not a good sign. They did not want to start a new year in the middle of starvation. But they did it anyway. And 52 years later, in 1506, when it was time for the new fire to come, another drought happened. Another drought was coming, and the priests said, this is not a good sign. The gods are trying to tell us something. And they changed the date from 1506 to 1507. They just waited one more year. And so there was a 52-year cycle for many centuries, and then suddenly it was a 53-year cycle. Because they didn't think that the gods wanted them to keep that same date. They were malleable. The calendar was malleable. And the last New Fire ceremony was 1507, because it was not long after that that Cortez came and stopped them. The point is, the calendar is not set in stone. We think the calendar is set in stone because we live in a culture where the Bible is inerrant. We think of religion as being something that God says and that is it, and there's no arguing. This permeates our thinking. But Aztecs and Maya, hey, inconvenient, let's change it. What I want to say about this is that the idea that 2012, this 13000, is going to be the end of a cycle was something that maybe some Maya believed in, but they also believed that they could mess with it, they could change it, they could have it another year. We're so biased by our little box of inerrant thinking that we forget that the ancient peoples of Mesoamerica were much more flexible about these things.